Giants with double-rowed teeth, flattened heads, and 6 fingers. The stories were told by the Comanche Indians and the Cherokees, who called them the Moon People.
Ohio, the United States of America, nearly 12,000 years ago. The Cherokee would descend from Northeast Asia to inhabit the Americas. Upon arrival, they were welcomed by a race of giant beings. They would become known as the Moon-Eyed People, a race of people far older than humans. It is said that they were responsible for the ancient ruins that now dot the landscape. The Cherokee called them the Moon-Eyed due to them only being able to see in the dark. During the day, they had very poor eyesight. From the book, Old World Roots of the Cherokee, Chapter 5, what kind of Indians lived in the territory of the Choctaw and Chickasaw. According to local traditions, and confirmed by excavations of bones in Tennessee, a race of giants. The Choctaws told of a race of giants that once inhabited the area, and with whom their ancestors fought when they first arrived in Mississippi. It was always believed that these were just stories passed down from generation to generation. The tribe, for example, had a legend of the mastodon roaming the Great Plains of America. However, over the past few years, the remains of this mythical race have begun to surface, confirming the Cherokee's accounts.
Now, concerning the Moon-Eyed People, when you go online and research who these people are, a lot of the information is incorrect and not accurate. In fact, they like to propagate a false narrative that these people were prehistoric white people, or even going as far as describing the Moon-Eyed People to be a race of white giants. So, to hide the race identity of these Indians, they called them the Moon-Eyed People, even describing them to be white, instead of the Moon-Eyed Negroes, which was their original described identity. So Raffinesse notes, the Moon-Eyed Negroes and albinos destroyed by the Cherokees and seen in Panama. Like this right here basically debunks all that white giant stuff and white stuff, because here he's describing the Moon-Eyed Negroes separate from the albinos they came across. It seems that a lot of writers have conflated those two, and we have the source of the man who propagated that there were white giants and there were white people, okay? But again, according to Raffinesse in 1832, these people were called the Moon-Eyed Negroes. I just find it funny that everywhere we read about the Moon-Eyed People, they don't call them the Moon-Eyed Negroes. Why not? Now, would you believe me if I told you that the Moon-Eyed Negroes are the Melungeons, and that the Melungeons are direct blood descendants of the Moon-Eyed Negroes? You see, the history that we've been taught about the Melungeons is not accurate as we think. There's some truth to it, but there's a lot of falsehoods. These are what the real Melungeons look like. yada. Now, when we read about the Melungeons, they are described identically with the Moon-Eyed Negroes. As it says right here, Melungeons had lived in the mountains so long that no one remembers where they came from. Early accounts say that the first Melungeons were dark-skinned devils with blue eyes. You see right there, like, clearly describes these mountain people that have blue eyes just like the Moon-Eyed Negroes. Now let's continue reading. Shunned by black folks and white folks alike, they were tricksters, children of perdition, the unholy offspring of the devil and the Cherokee woman in Tennessee. You see? Now that right there explains the Cherokee connection, partially. Now before I continue reading, I'm sourcing the book where I'm getting this information from. It's called Children of Perdition, Melungeons and the Struggle of Mixed America by Tim Hashaw. Now this part not only connects the Melungeon people with the Moon-Eyed people, but my lineage, all right, through my family. I'm born into a family, all right, that has this trait. Now it says, why the tales of winged six-fingered Melungeons, ogres swooping down carrying off disobedient children? You see? Why the folklore of a brigadoon-like village lost in the mountains with bewitching Melungeon beauties and flint-eyed men with guns as long as garden hoes guarding lost silver mines, long before the white man came? Now, that kind of don't make sense at the end, because how can we have guns before the white man came? But besides that, this is clearly connecting the Melungeons and me and my people with the Blue-Eyed Negroes, because the Melungeons are known to have six fingers too. Now, when you research who the Melungeons are, you will often see them being associated with six fingers. That's a Moon-Eyed Negro trait, all right? And DNA studies does confirm this. Evidence of this is found in a book called Melungeons, The Last Lost Tribe in America by Elizabeth Hirschman. Page 40, we read, Melungeons may exhibit several distinctive physical traits. Among these are the following: polydactylism. Children are born with more than 5 digits on feet and hands at a much higher rate among Melungeon descendants than within the general population. Now, outside of the DNA studies, all right, there are too many myths that associate Melungeons with having 6 fingers and blue eyes. Identical. It aligns up with the Moon-Eyed people enough to where there's no debate. Folklores confirm that Melungeons had 6 fingers and blue eyes like the Moon-Eyed Negroes. In one account we read, do you remember our long ago nights in Charleston and the wild ghost tales we told in the lavender room at grandmother's? You recall? I am sure. Old Juba stories of the fearsome, blue-eyed mountain Indians with their 6 fingers and brown skin and wicked ways. No doubt, you can still hear Juba threatening that. Were we to vex her enough, those Melungeons would come and steal us away in the night. Siltha, there are such people. The girl, Abel, is a Melungeon. According to Mrs. Walker, her kind live high in the hills, but they are a reclusive, suspicious sort and do not warm to outsiders, nor do outsiders warm to them. You feel me? See, so it's like a hostile history being explained here, but we clearly see the clear association and identical description of the Moon-Eyed Negroes and the Melungeon Indians.
positions on thrones surrounded by a coterie of their retainers. They also had flatter heads and 6 fingers and toes. Were these giants highly advanced?